Hi everybody, I am Kelly Hoffman. I am the Director of Field Practicum at Kuiper College. I know I have talked to all of you via email. Obviously, we were scheduled to have a breakfast last week, and I appreciate everyone's flexibility working around some illness. Figured, even though we're getting past the point where things have relaxed a little bit with COVID, due to the fact that there was food around, figured probably err on the side of caution. And not hold it in person given some of the illness that I specifically had. And so out of respect for you all, I didn't want to get anyone sick. So again, I thank you for your flexibility. This is in lieu of having an in-person breakfast, understanding that everyone's schedules aren't always super flexible. And so last minute rescheduling of a breakfast in person might be a little bit difficult. So we're going to navigate this virtually. And so hopefully this will give you the information that you need. Obviously, if you have more questions or desire more follow-up, please reach out to me. But this should hopefully give you kind of a taste of what we would have talked about at the breakfast and get both students and practicum supervisors enough knowledge to be able to navigate the start of the internship. So there is 2 videos that you will be receiving. This is the first one where I'll just kind of walk through kind of the general purpose of internships within the BSW education at Kuiper, kind of the different players in it, and just kind of the if you remember anything from the video, there's 4 things that you need to know, and that will be on one of the first slides. So just some general information and kind of reviewing the roles of different players within the practicum experience. I will switch to the PowerPoint. So like I said, this is in lieu of the face-to-face breakfast, and I just want to say thank you so much for partnering with Kuiper College and with our students. Internships are such a powerful learning experience when done well, and some of you I've worked with in the past on internships. Some of you are new to Kuiper's internship experience. I'm just always so grateful and thankful for everyone to take time out of their very busy schedule. I know it's even probably more hectic now post-COVID with staffing shortages, that you'd be willing to take time to invest in the next wave of social workers and have enough trust and belief in students from Kuiper that they're coming equipped with knowledge to be able to do an internship well. I am just always so thankful that everyone is willing to journey along with us on this during the school year. So thank you very, very much for that. And for students too, you've put a lot of thought into finding agencies and kind of the populations or demographics that you are interested in working with. So I appreciate the diligence that you all did to find agencies that were a good fit and to follow through on the interviews and demonstrating professionalism around that. So it makes me very excited for the upcoming year. Like I said earlier, my name is Kelly Hoffman. I am the Director of Field Practicum at Kuiper College. I'm also one of the professors, so I kind of have a dual role where I teach in the classroom, but I'm also overseeing and placing all of the internship process. So I will be the Kuiper liaison for all of this, kind of working with the students in the classroom, being able to come visit the practicum sites in person, as well as being able to problem solve any issues that might arise. So welcome to orientation. I'm going to run through a couple of things. So this is the slide I was referring to earlier, where if you're going to take anything from this presentation, this is the content that you will really want to pay attention to. So I'm just adjusting the screen a little bit. Okay. The thing that I get asked probably the most is how many hours do the students need to complete? In total, students need to complete 400 hours of in-the-field experience. So logging 400 hours at their internship. Now, with the changes a little bit with face-to-face services and virtual services, it kind of, I'm not saying you have to be physically at your site for 400 hours, but you're doing 400's worth of experience. So whether that's virtual, whether that's researching stuff at home, however the agency has determined, as long as you are meeting your learning objectives, it just has to be the 400 hours of in-field experience. For the individuals who are doing the traditional placement, so fall semester and winter semester, it will be 200 hours each semester. Unfortunately, if you, let's say, get 220 hours first semester, those extra 20 hours do not roll over into the winter semester. And that's largely because of how the seminar is structured. You have seminar learning for the 200 hours, and then second semester you have seminar learning for the second set of 200 hours. But also we value kind of how time contributes to the experience. And so if you're rushing to get all of your hours done right away just to check it off the list, you might miss out on a little bit of the learning that comes with time and cultivating relationships and feeling comfortable at agency. So I still encourage students to keep track of any hours over the 200 each semester. When you're applying for grad school, you can say that you completed a 440-hour internship versus 400. It could work to your advantage in that aspect. So feel free to work more, but you have to complete 200 first semester and 200 second semester. For individuals who are doing block placements, doing everything in one semester, that 400 hours obviously has to be completed then this semester. It typically looks about 13 to 15 hours per week for students who are doing internships over 2 semesters, and about 26 to 30 hours per week for block placement students. So we talking about schedule starts now, September. You guys can start whenever you need to. Some of you have started already. Some of you are waiting for this orientation, but you're good to go anytime now, and we go through April 2023. So we graduate, I think, like second to last weekend in April. The expectation is even if you get your hours done earlier in second semester, the students have to be willing to maintain their commitment through the end of the semester unless their agency says otherwise. Individual schedules are up to the student or the agencies. We don't say you have to do your internships on Tuesdays or Thursdays. From this hour to this hour, whatever works best with the agency and the student's personal schedules, and you're getting your hours and you have proper supervision, we're good to go. The generalist practice is the format that runs through our social work education, where we're teaching skills and social work approaches that can translate to multi-levels, so individuals, groups, communities, any population. And so that's reflected in the different the variety of internship placements we have. Currently, students at the intent is all of the education that we provide will be able to serve those populations in different multi-levels very effectively, regardless of who and where they are. And then supervision, students must be supervised by an MSW or a BSW with 2 years of experience in the field. Licensing, limited or full, does not matter as long as they have the degree. That individual does not have to be on site with them 24/7. I know sometimes the person who might be supervising the day-to-day activities might have a slightly different credentialing, but the MSW or BSW does need to meet with them on a weekly basis to be able to provide support around specific things that might relate directly to the social work field. And so if you have questions about that or just want to make sure that your structure meets our criteria, please let me know. But the MSW or BSW must be available and also has to sign off on the timesheets because we're looking for those specific credentials. All right, so I'm going to quick run through the different roles in field practicum. Basically, we're looking at 4 different players within the social work internship. I mentioned right here that you can find this on page 21 through 25 in your orientation manual if you want to reference back to it or read it a little more in detail. I'm just going to kind of summarize the content in the next few slides. So Kuiper College obviously is the institution where all the students are receiving their social work education. So the college itself is committed to maintaining the accredited social work program, creating a process that's organized and I guess legit. We don't want to waste agencies' time with interns who are not equipped or prepared, or if we're super disorganized on making more work for agencies and supervisors who've been willing to host a student. So we're committed to developing and adhering to a screening process for admission into the program and internship placement, so we can ensure that the students that are coming to you have received the proper training and education up until that point. And so we also provide professional liability insurance for the college faculty and student while in the practicum, and providing continuous guidance to support students in understanding the significance of positive relationships. And so we understand that the college and the agencies have a relationship that's kind of contingent on like good placements with students. You know, if it's a disaster with a student, that might leave a sour taste in the agency's mouth about Kuiper College and their academics and preparation for students. And so the college is committed to making sure that we're equipping students with professionalism and the skills to navigate internships in a way that's beneficial for the agency. The practicum supervisor would be the individual from the agency who is directly supervising the students as part of the practicum experience. And so we just ask that the supervisor will give an orientation to the agency so students feel comfortable, supported, prepared, and that they're not just the intern in the corner who's making copies and fetching coffee, that they have a space to be able to go to and that they feel part of the agency and that they're a valued member of whatever work goes on. We're looking for engagement and purposeful supervision. And so as we see with the student expectations too, like coming to meetings prepared, fulfilling any requests, I guess, that the student has, if they have questions, being available. Obviously, there's pieces of the job that are present outside of supervising an intern, but making sure that the students feel like they do have access is really, really important to the learning process. Assigning meaningful tasks to meet the students' objectives and the agency needs. The students will have to create a learning contract, which will kind of direct and point to the services and opportunities that they need to engage in. And so that will kind of help keep the agency and the student accountable, but we really are looking for purposeful activities that will help the students master the competencies that they need to. We really value our students' exposure to diverse client systems, and so giving the students opportunities to work with varied client systems whenever possible, whether it be the clients, the family systems, maybe more of a macro practice. We really encourage students to seek those out and work with their supervisor to be able to gain as much experience as possible. Assist students in integrating knowledge, theory, social work concepts, values into practicum experience. During their seminar with me, they will be given some assignments that will naturally build on that, but making sure the students have the opportunity to talk about it when needed. And then encourage students to participate in constructive criticism, both positive and negative with regards to work performance. So having those hard conversations if something does need to be changed or modified really helps the students grow. The director of field practicum, that would be me. Sorry, my computer's going a little wonk. So offering experiences that meet the program's criteria, all of your placements do, as far as I know. It's part of the interviewing process. Providing orientation, which we're doing now. Meeting with the supervisors and students in 3-way conferences. So we'll do 2 this fall and then 1 time in the winter semester. So I'll come and meet students and supervisors halfway through the semester as a check-in to make sure everything's going okay. At the end of fall semester to do the final semester evaluation, and then at the end of the winter semester to do the final learning contract. I'm here to be a resource for the student and to provide a seminar class for the students. Finally is the students, maintaining confidentiality and code of ethics. The code of ethics is in the field manual, but you can also access it online. We need students to act as a professional member of the agency and to remember who they're representing. Applying the principles of social work learned into the classroom and translating it into practicum. Engage in the evaluation process by receiving feedback and doing self-evaluation. If there is an issue that arises during the practicum setting, I always encourage students to first go to their supervisor in event of a problem versus coming to me and having me do it. It's part of that professional development and learning how to navigate difficult situations. That is a really, really, really quick rundown There's more detail in the field manual, but feel free to ask me questions if you have any.